And welcome to day 18. Another video coming here. We're diving right into it. Quote of the day, no time to waste. Setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to learn and grow. Setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to learn and grow. The harsh reality, right? The harsh reality of the work that I do, right? The field that I'm within, the business space that I'm in is so often, right? One of my toughest challenges is I don't want people buying into my course or program or doing one-on-one coaching and for only 8%, 7% of people to ever finish that course, because that is the real stat of how many people actually finish what they have signed up for. 7% of people finish an online course. That is a crazy statistic. So you start to weigh out what took place in that. Was it that maybe the course was not fun? Maybe they felt like they already knew that stuff. Maybe they just struggled within their own mind of showing up and continuing to stay with it. Maybe a huge, thing popped up in their life where, they got thrown off course. They weren't able to stay up to date with it. Because I've seen that inside of my program. I have somebody who I think is just such a perfect candidate for joining into my program, going through my coaching, and 3 weeks later it's like, hey, I feel like I have to pause, I feel like I have to stop this, or hey, maybe I don't see them engaging as much, and I'm like checking in, saying where they're at, and it's like, oh well, I've just had this super busy week at work. There's always going to be busy weeks in work. There's always going to be busy weeks in our life, and especially with us talking about this and the whole kind of like last week that we talked about building habits, having a routine, is when we're so busy, right? When we're so busy, that is the ideal time to do the work. If you can keep a positive mindset when you have the most busy week, when you have the most stressful week, imagine what a normal week looks like. Imagine what a week that, is run the way it's supposed to be run without a million things going on, right? Like that's the difference there. So if you're somebody and hey, you made it to day 18, maybe this is the first video that you're watching, it is so important for us to be able to have different strategies to be able to deal with the setbacks and ultimately stay on course. Again, stuff is going to pop up. Things are going to happen. Another thing that I see all the time, right? A vacation is a beautiful thing, right? You get away, you celebrate, maybe it's a reward for the hard work you've been putting in. Is I see so many people, a vacation becomes a setback because they go away for 5 days. They forget everything that they've been doing, right? They don't work out. They don't prioritize them. Maybe they just drink like crazy. Maybe they eat terrible. Maybe they just lay around on a beach all day, right? And hey, that's how a real vacation should be. I'm not saying drinking a ton, but relaxing, right? It's time for you to be able to celebrate, step away from the work you've been doing. But it's so often that people return back from those vacations, return back from a trip, return back from a holiday, and they're like, all of a sudden I'm stuck. All of a sudden I'm lost. All of a sudden, what's up, buddy? I got my dog in here. Usually I shut my door, but the door is open. Good boy? Good boy. All right. So I don't even know where I was at. Good boy. So often, right, people go away for those trips, people have the holidays, and then next thing you know, it's them returning back, feeling lost, feeling like they've have no momentum, no motivation. Of course. Look at what your 4 days were just spent doing. Look at what your 5 days were just spent doing, especially January 1st. Hey, I want to get in the best shape of my life this year. Hey, I want to, eat healthy. Hey, I want to start my business. You just spent all of December celebrating holidays, eating cheesecake, eating desserts, eating terrible foods, drinking with friends. It's like, now how do you expect to come in January 1st and being able to make a difference, right? Being able to grow into the person that you want to be, right? You've just lost any momentum. And I'm here to say this. This is an important thing, but also a very, very cool thing. If you have a full year where you were like, damn, this was probably my worst year in a long, long time, it doesn't need to go that way, right? It does not need to continue to go that way. You can change it in an instance. But the other side of that, the tough side of that, for those of you that are in this, watching this challenge right now, whether it's live while I'm posting them or 6 months from now, just coming across my channel, is if you have the best year of your life, There is absolutely nothing to say that the following year is going to go the same exact way. Nothing. Right? You could have the best year in your life, but if you slip away from the things that got you there, if you slip away from the monthly reflections, the weekly reflections, constantly staying on that journey of growth, who knows, right? And we see it all the time. People become famous, people become celebrities, people get all this money. Then what happens? They become addicted to drugs. They end up, dying, unfortunately, at a young age. They end up, crashing their car, getting into a car accident because they were drinking and driving. They end up getting arrested because they went out and did something terrible, and it's like, think of how many people inside a business, put so much focus on the money, right? The money is critical, right? Hey, if I'm not making money, what am I doing right now? Possibly not making this video, but this is a path that I'm absolutely committed to, a path that I'm absolutely going to stay on, right? And I'm invested into it for the long term, so when people put so much pressure on the money inside their business, they go ahead, they have this one big month, and what do? They go spend it. They go party instantly. Right? And now maybe that leads to some of the insecurities in their life, some of the doubts within their abilities, maybe them having to overwork, which eventually just gets them to run into a wall. And it's like, hey, my journey in being in business is done. It's just like, I need more stable income because my lifestyle is crazy. We have a choice for everything that we're doing, everything that we're after. All right. So with the setbacks that pop up on our journey, I know I got a little bit off course there, but this is the stuff that's important. This is the stuff that has truly helped me, is understanding, hey, if I just crushed it last week, I don't need to do more. I don't need to say, hey, you know what? I just did amazing in the gym last week, so now let me work out 5 times a day. That's not how it works. It's, hey, how do I work out the same amount? How do I eat that type of food, but even better, right? Because so often people have an amazing week, one good week, the next week they're trying to do 40 different things or 40 new things, and it's like, oh, here I am, back again. It's because you don't allow yourself to show up consistently, right? You don't allow yourself to actually build something out. You put yourself on such this hard or big pedestal that you have a good week, and then the next week you need to feel like you're running the world. It's like, why can't you just do the same stuff that you did last week that led you to feeling amazing? That's the important thing. And the most important thing I want to talk about is regular reflection. Being able to reflect on the setbacks regularly, right? Learning from experiences and refining all of the different strategies that are going to lead to your future success. All right. Because inside of our day, we've talked about time blocking. I've talked about journaling. I've talked a little bit about, like our body being our vehicle. We need to be able to do those things on a daily basis. Hey, if you're not feeling well, right? If you're not feeling well, the answer is not, oh, well, I might as well just eat like shit anyway. Hey, I missed the gym. I might as well not work out the rest of this week then. There needs to be a reflection that goes deeper into that. Damn, this popped up. It held me back from doing my journaling. This popped up. It held me back from building the life I want to build. Hey, this popped up and it made me snooze and it made me stay in bed. How do I overcome this? How do I think about what this is trying to teach me? Hey, I just made a stupid mistake and I just lost $5,000 and just spent $5,000. How do you allow that to stay on the path? Reflect on it to make sure that when you do make big money, you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. All right? To get to be successful, all it is reflection and iteration, right? Being able to integrate the things that you are seeing that are working and not working. Where people become unsuccessful or where they struggle is when they do the same shit over and over for months, days, weeks, whatever, and then they find themselves in the same spot. That's where we give up on the path. So, reflection question of the day before I go over the 10 minutes. Think about a recent setback, right? Really think about this. What was something that you felt held back by? What was something that tried to make you quit, right? What did you learn from it? And how will you adjust your approach? Was it something recently, or do you want to go back 5 years? Do you want to go back 10 years where you're like, damn, I used to want to start a business, but why don't I anymore? Why don't I? What's the deeper reason? I know it's tough. I know it's challenging, but what's within me that's holding me back from being able to do that? Reflect on your setbacks and continue to grow. I got your back every step of the way if you ever need any support. Keep pushing.